Hello, everybody. Today on Swagatham Canada's Let's Talk, we're going to meet a very inspiring personality. He's a humanitarian and a social worker who has wrestled mountains of struggle to reach where he is today. Welcome to the show, Mr. Prasad Nair. It's so happy to have you on the show today. We're
Thank
so
you.
fortunate to have you, sir, today. And before we go on with the interview, I want to introduce Mr. Prasad Nair to the audience. Mr. Prasad Nair is currently the director of Toronto Children's Aid Society, the general secretary of National Federation of Malayali Association, and the president of Mississauga Kerala Association. He is also the founding and advisory member of several organizations such as Malayali Association of Social Workers in Ontario, Ontario Heroes, and so on. He has actively engaged himself in organizations like Fokana and GTA Malayali Associations. So, welcome to the show, sir. It's a pleasure having you with us today. And we're very happy to have you here. And meanwhile, we will be asking you a few questions about the forthcoming global event, which is the Canadian Nehru Trophy Brampton boat race as well. So, let's go on to the interview, sir. So, you have fought a lot of battles in your life, in your early life, in fact. So, how did you climb the ladder? And tell us a brief about what got you here.
Thank you. Yeah, I probably may restructure that question a little bit. I may not say that, okay, oh, the challenges that I faced are just unique to me. No, I faced the challenges that it's been sometimes not, you know, okay, I'll probably say it this way. I may have faced the challenges, but then uh, uh, I was able to come through it like so many others. So when I hear these things, I always feel that these challenges are not unique to me. These challenges are part of human race arts together, right? So I came to Canada as an immigrant. So I
That's
have
wonderful.
experienced the struggles of an immigrant. So
Okay.
that's how I start. And I grew up in a very rural community in Kerala,
Okay.
in Idiki district, and
Okay.
I studied in a Malayalam medium school. So even
Okay.
right now, when I speak in English, you can very well identify that I'm a Malayali. So I don't want us to think that okay. So if anyone is hearing this broadcast, I want people to think that if Prasad can be here and Prasad can do this, everyone else can do it. So it's nothing special about Prasad. So I
Very
will start from
modest.
that.
Doesn't show at all. Tell me, sir.
Thank you. So the struggles that I've gone through is yes, the language was a struggle,
Okay.
culture was a struggle, not getting my qualifications accredited in this place is a struggle.
Yeah, I know that.
Not able to be proud of our culture was a struggle. So I'm talking about like 15, 20 years back in Canada. There are people who came to Canada from Kerala 40 years back. They had different sets of struggle. So I admire those people who walked in front of me in this land. And I also acknowledge that the achievements of my community. With that note, one thing I realized about it is you are not alone.
Correct.
Being in a community, you are not alone. You may not see
Absolutely.
people that supporting you immediately. You may not see people that's offering you a helping hand at the time when you are in crisis. But reality is that you are being supported by a lot of unknown people, sometimes
Absolutely.
known, sometimes unknown people.
Absolutely.
So I want to recognize each one of them that played their
A
role
role in your
in
life.
my life and thank
Wonderful.
them and to start with that.
That's so nice. You've been grateful and you've also told us how life can be for everybody and how you've really overcome things. And it was a great testimony, actually. And we want to tell you, you were a lawyer in India, wasn't it? And why it was there an idea to move to Canada?
Okay, so a little bit correction around that is yes, I do have a law degree. I never ever practiced. So, which in another means that I never took sanat in to go to a courtroom to argue.
Okay.
I was in management field. I was in a human resource management area. Those who are familiar with the field back in Kerala, that you know that it's been a constant engagement with trade unions and labor laws, labor relations. So
Yeah.
I thought that having a law degree is going to help me. So I went to the law college in Ernakulam, and I got my LLB, and that helped me in my job. In fact,
Absolutely.
my original qualification is a master's in social work back in
Okay.
India too.
Okay.
So I hope that's get
Okay.
clarified.
Yeah. And okay, we were not aware of that. And one more thing is you are currently the director of Toronto Children's Aid Society. What does this organization do? And tell us, what have you done after you've held post?
Yeah. Toronto Children's Aid is North America's oldest children's aid society. Children's Aid Societies in Ontario, specifically the province that I live in Canada, Ontario, we have the legal mandate to provide protection services to children under the age of 18,
Lovely.
which includes investigating any abuses, providing support for families to care for their children.
Absolutely.
And we are the largest board governed child welfare agency in North America.
Okay.
So we cater the city of Toronto, which is the largest metropolis in Canada.
Okay. That's wonderful. Wonderful. And you help children who are suffering abuse in their childhood, right?
See, there are two ways of looking at it. Is that we do have a legal responsibility to go out and to do investigate and provide support for families to care for their children. We also offer supports in advance, which
Okay.
means that we don't want families to come to an investigative stage,
Mm,
and they may have that there can be cultural issues, there can be other
correct.
concerns. Physical discipline is not allowed, so there can be situations where a parent may be using physical discipline to manage a child's behavior,
Yeah.
whereas in that parent's culture it's appropriate, but when
In
you
Canada,
think
it's a
about
different
a
thing.
legal, yeah, I don't want to say in Canada it's not
Okay.
really good for kids. Like I strongly believe that physically disciplining a child, you're not going to get what you want. You have to show them we live in a democratic society. We want to show them that it's not the power that helps people to change the behavior, it's the love, care and understanding.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's the philosophy. So we offer that support, and in situations where there can be abuse that happened because of so many reasons, there are social determinants issues, there is poverty, there is drug addiction, there are other things that in the society. So we want to go in and to support the children and to ensure that whether their parents can care for their children safely. In very rare occasions of parents cannot care for or unable to care for, then we have to find alternate arrangements. We don't want any children to be orphaned. We don't want any children to
Absolutely.
be in the street, right?
Correct.
But
Correct.
but we want to create meaningful networks and communities for those children, so
Beautiful.
that they will grow up in this society as positive and productive citizens.
Beautiful. That's a very noble work that you're doing, sir. We are very happy. And one more thing is, you left a real word of wisdom for parents. So, in this, by answering this question, thanks to you for that. And are you doing something for the Malayali community as well?
Yes, from the very beginning, I came to Canada, and one thing that I noticed, I have two kids, right? So I have two boys. They are adult children now. One thing I started noticing, looking around the community, that if we don't connect ourselves with our culture, we don't connect ourselves with where we belong, we can, become in hallucinated about where we are, and then we may not get rooted into real human behaviors. I have seen it. I can explain it further again that, if you really wanted to be strong, you need to know your roots.
Correct.
You really wanted to be own yourself, you have to have the pride of your culture, your skin, your way of talking, your accent. The moment you start self-doubting yourself, you cannot really be part of a society, because you are
Absolutely.
always self-doubting and you're thinking yourself, okay, am I able to say this? Right? Can I say these things at this point? Or, is it okay that this I eat rice and mean curry at home? Can I just say that, okay, with proud, that this is what I eat?
Okay.
Or in situations where, like, when we cook our food in our homes, it's going to smell. And if I am going to have a problem with my culture, my food, my living style, my kids are going to absorb it. And then I am not going to have any other any way to say that, oh, my kids are not following my culture. And for
Beautiful.
me, it was important. So one thing then I started realizing is there are a lot of like-minded individuals here.
Mm.
So how can we bring people together? Can we
Beautiful.
bring people together? And one of the best thing I thought about is language. So even though now we are corresponding in English, I'm very comfortable in Malayalam, and I
Malayalam.
want to speak Malayalam. And I know a lot of people in our community who are
Definitely.
very comfortable in speaking
Speaking
Malayalam.
Malayalam.
We watch Malayalam movies, we read
Absolutely.
Malayalam news, we follow Malayalam Kerala politics.
Correct.
So I want to bring these people together, and from the very beginning, for past
Lovely.
20 years, I'm working with the different cultural organizations, and that's why when I brought people together into a 30-year-old organization, Missaga Kerala Association, we started planning programs with thinking about children. How do we bring families into a get together?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
We know that all the time adults can come together, but
Yes.
it's not just adults. We want our kids to come in
Kids.
and experience Kerala.
Beautiful.
And the similar way, when I'm a social worker, I came to Canada, I have faced my own challenges in getting navigated in a professional environment. So I know that as a Malayali, what are the challenges that I face? So
Absolutely.
therefore, I have that soft corner towards my fellow Malayalis, that I want them to understand what is the culture of this land, what is the systems of this land, how are you going to navigate? So that helped me to partner with some of my very good friends and then come up with Malayali Association of Social Workers.
Wonderful. Wonderful, sir.
Right.
Great.
So there is another thing that, when we have different organizations, Canada has around more than 60 Malayali organizations, Kerala organizations.
Oh,
So
okay. That
I
is
have
nice.
I have an opportunity then to sit down with one of my good friend, Kurian Prakanam, which
Yeah.
is Brampton Malayali Samajam's
Yes.
president. So we had these discussions. We said, Kurian, we were talking about it. It doesn't make any sense that we are so fragmented and we have different
Correct.
organizations. Each organization has its own identity. So to protect their identity, how do we come together? So we created, rather, we brought other organizations to come together and to think that, okay, this is national federation. So each
Beautiful.
association will be separate. They will have their own programs, but we are coming together as a national federation to show our unity back to the Canadian society.
Super, super. That's a very, very interesting venture that you're into. And having said that, Brampton boat race, the Canadian Nehru Trophy boat race, is something that unites all the Malayalis in one platform, as well as it's a global event. What is it that comes to the top of your mind when we talk about that?
I think again, it's I'll go back to my initial points that it helps us to root to our culture. It helps us to root to understand who we are.
Correct.
Vallamkali or boat race is considered as it's part of a passion for majority of Kerala, especially if you have some connections to
Okay, Kerala.
the erstwhile Travancore or in the district of Alapi, Kottayam, Pathanamthitta, then I don't have to explain further how important Vallamkali is. It's a national symbol for Kerala, or rather, it's a symbol of Kerala. So when initially Brampton Malayali Samajam and Kuriyam Prakanam come up with that part of creating
Beautiful.
a small
Yes.
boat race, we all supported him. And
Correct.
with I supported this event, that this is one way of us showing the global community or the larger Canadian society that this is what Kerala is. We
Correct.
have this art form, this sports and arts mixed form, Vallamkali or the boat race, which is different than from other kind of boat races. So
Correct.
come, enjoy, and then understand this culture. When people start understanding cultures, then they may find similarities. Once
Beautiful.
people start understanding similarities, we are creating a global platform for humanity to survive and
Correct.
sustain.
Beautiful, beautiful. That was a wonderful explanation. And now we go on to the rapid fire, sir, because we will just ask you 5 questions. So whatever is on the top of your mind, you can just give away. And
This is something that I'm always worried about. Okay, but
okay,
let's see what I can do.
you can do it, sir. Please tell us whatever is on the top of your mind at the very moment. What is one weapon that you use to combat your challenges?
Believe in the other side.
Beautiful. And who's your role model in life?
Um, I would probably say that Jawaharlal Nehru.
Beautiful.
No,
And why?
it's a different thing. But
Why?
I just want to say, like, I'm always amazed about his curiosity, his intelligence,
Beautiful.
his breadth of knowledge, his passion, and he's not always right. So that's another reason that I love him.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The reasons were too good that made him your role model. And actually, tell us, do you prefer to be an advocate or a social worker?
With no thinking, I can say that I love to be a social worker.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. You've given us the answer why earlier. So let me go to the next question. Tell us the first thought that comes to your mind when you talk about the Canadian Nehru Trophy Brampton boat race.
It's about going back to our roots and then showcasing who we are to a large global
Wonderful.
community.
Wonderful. What's your motto in life, sir?
Be good to yourself, be good to others.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That was very nice, sir. Thanks for being with us. It was a very interesting interview. We got to know a lot of insights from a person who has given away a lot of wisdom to parents as well as the Malayali community as a whole. Thanks for being with us, and we wish you good luck in all your endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I wish all the very best to Swagatham Canada and its entire team.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.